I hate the turbo trainer with a passion. So here's the setup I'm riding this winter to do as much cycling outdoors as possible. In this video I'm going to cover bike setup, clothing, tech, training, and how to stay motivated over this horrible time of year. Let's get into it. Firstly though, why do I hate the turbo? I mean, that's an easy one. For me, the turbo gets rid of everything I love about cycling. You're not outdoors, you're stuck in a miserable little room somewhere. You've got none of that sense of like freedom or exploration. You see all those like TikToks and Instagrams, don't you, where it's like a clip of someone cycling outside and it just says like therapy on it, and yeah, it's very overdone, but it's true. You know, cycling is what I do to clear my head after a hard day. Like, it sorts me out. And with the turbo, I just don't get that at all. Maybe afterwards I'll feel better just from like the endorphin rush. But in the moment, I'm just hating every second of it. I went pretty all in on the trainer last year. I was just so burnt out by the end. I used to just dread having to go into the shed and get on that bike and just... Even when it's easy efforts, like even when it's just zone 2, if anything I think zone 2 is worse. Because at least with intervals, when you're having to put in a dig, it's this distraction. So first on the list, things to change over winter, so obviously the bike. So for the bike, the Cervelo is getting put into hibernation, unless it's a nice day, and instead I'm going to be running my Sondo Camino titanium gravel bike. I love this thing, it's completely bomb-proof for winter. It's titanium obviously, so none of the fragility of carbon in a crash, and also it's got slightly lower quality components, so again, if I crash it on icy roads or wet leaves, it's cheaper to fix. It's got 1x chainring, which means less maintenance, less stuff to go wrong out on a ride, and just a big fat 1051 cassette on the back, so even with the 1x, I'm getting up anything. This is the bike that I cycled 1200k through Europe on, over the Alps 4 times, so it's completely capable of tackling anything we got here in the UK. For the tyres, I've got some Conti GP 5000s, all weather, so a bit tougher than the normal standard ones. I've got them set up tubeless, so I don't need to worry about punctures as much. And being 35mm, I can run them at lower pressure, still get that comfort and that increased traction on the wet roads over winter. Obviously I've got mudguards set up on it, absolute must over winter. It just makes a world of difference to the comfort if you're not getting sprayed from the road. And also I do a lot of group rides, and it's kind of just considerate to the people behind you, they're not getting sprayed in the face by all the muck off your wheel the whole time. You only have to be that person getting sprayed a few times before you realise how shit it is, and invest in a pair of mudguards. I actually need to get mine replaced because I broke it when touring Europe. So currently I'm running a front mudguard and nothing on the back, which is pretty useless. Now obviously your bike and your gear is important, but realistically you could go out on your summer bike with your summer setup and you'd be fine. But as anyone that's cycled over winter more than once is going to be able to tell you, the most important thing is getting your kit right. And the key to getting your kit right is layering. You don't want to go out in just a big puffy jacket, overheat within 10 minutes and spend the rest of the ride sweating. You need to be layering base layers, then maybe a thermal jersey, maybe a gilet, a jacket, things that are all easily packable so you can strip them off or put them on at will. Not all thermal kit is made equal. Some are going to be much more geared towards autumn with like a lighter fleece and maybe no water repellent, but like these map ones, these are deep winter. These got a super thick fleece lining, they've got a water repellent exterior, so they keep me dry, warm longer, and these are going to do me through deep winter. I've had a fair few pair of insulated bib tights in my time, and you really get what you pay for with them. Keep your extremities warm. Obviously gloves, shoes, don't get gloves like me with holes in them, they're not going to do anything. I mean, I think it's pretty safe to say that no one has ever regretted investing in a proper pair of winter gloves. It's one of the first things to get cold on a ride, and it will make you miserable if you can't feel your hands. If you can, and if you think you're going to be cycling outside in winter a lot, invest in a proper winter pair of shoes. These Physiques, they've got Gore-Tex lining, they keep your feet dry. They've got a fur lining to them as well. They're so massively warm compared to normal cycling shoes, which obviously normal cycling shoes are all pretty much designed for maximum ventilation, which in winter is kind of the last thing you want. So if you've got a bit cash to spare, these will make a big difference. Otherwise, if you want the cheaper option, obviously invest in a pair of overshoes of some kind. I think what's important to bear in mind is that over winter you will get wet. It's pretty much inevitable. If you go out and it's raining, you're going to get wet. So the important thing is to make sure that you're wet and comfortable rather than wet and cold. And that means invested in proper techie fabrics like merino wool, Gore-Tex, things like that. Now, all the kit in the world won't get you out the door if you don't have the motivation. So here's my plan for motivating myself this winter. Motivation can be really hard to keep on top of over winter. So I think for me this year, it's going to revolve around chasing the light. So wherever possible, I'm going to be getting outside at lunchtime. I'm lucky I work from home. I can, it's lunchtime now, I can come out, I can do these quick kind of hour-long spins. And you'd be amazed at how much good training you can do in an hour. Try and get out on some group rides. When you wake up cold, super hard to motivate yourself to go out on your own for 4 hours. But if you know you've got a group waiting for you, and you've got to be there at 9 o'clock, it just gives you that little extra drive to get up and get out of bed that you might need. And it's always better once you're out. Once you've got over the doorstep mile, it's fine. While we all love a cafe ride, actually in winter they can be they can mess you up a bit, because once you warm up, you want to stay warm. And if you get sweaty and wet and then you stop in the cold, even if you go into a cafe, that sweat's going to cool you down. And when you leave, it's so hard getting started again. So, maybe put your cafe stop at the end of the ride rather than halfway through. That way, you've done the ride, you can enjoy it, get warm and get home. This works a bit better that way around, in my opinion. Make sure you're being sensible about your route planning. Obviously in winter, a lot of the little lanes, they get so gritty and nasty. Whereas if you stick to main roads, chances are much better maintained. It's always a good one to bear in mind. Tech-wise, I don't really change anything compared with summer. I still run Garmin 530 on the front, Polar P10 heart rate monitor, and then I got some Garmin power pedals. That's really it. It's basic, you don't need anything else, in my opinion. Bottom line, winter cycling can still be wicked. It's just all about having the prep, the plan, the mindset for it. There may be accommodations you have to make, it's not going to be the same as summer cycling, but doing little things like setting yourself a fun midwinter goal to aim for will all really help. But I'm always looking for new tips, so if you've got any good ones, drop them below and I'll catch you in the next one.